This is a topic that y'all are probably familiar with. It's relationships, but it's one in particular. I ran into my ex boyfriend after not seeing him since August, and we talked. And it was awkward as can be, but we still talked. And I wanted to record this because I want to remember what happened today so I don't forget. Like, it was just a conversation about his situations that he's been in since I last talked to him. And he shared with me the truth. And his dad was coming to pick him up from North Carolina. And long story short, he had some things going on, if you know what I mean. And I asked him bluntly some questions, and I didn't feel the attraction that I felt before. In fact, I wanted to leave the conversation at bay, and I didn't really want to ask too many questions because I thought this is just a little too much. You know what I mean? Not seeing you for a long time, and I just wanted to keep it short and sweet. But we still talked, and he asked for a hug, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And I slipped and said something. I said, "You know, it's nice seeing you again." And I did. I slipped. And I don't usually say things like that because I'm really guarded. And I did. I really did like seeing him, talking to him. It was nice, but the feelings weren't there. And if you would have told me last August how I felt about him, yeah, I had strong feelings for him. But he had ghosted me. And all I can tell you is that after somebody ghosting you 2 times, that's it. You know, that was the end of it. It was just about moving on and licking your wounds and just see you later. So that was my part of the story. My seal of approval is I think he has a long road ahead. And if I see him again, that'll be really up to him. I mean, it's not like I don't like frequent the area, go to the store, or etc. But I, whew, that was heavy. It was a heavy burden to listen to his experiences. And he complimented me. He said, you know, you're looking good. Everything is really nice. And then he asked me about my kitchen that was remodeled when he was here. And, you know, we had conversations, different conversations at the same time. So conversation was good. It was awkward because I didn't want to talk to him that much at that point. I didn't want to. It's not that I didn't want to talk to him. It's just I just didn't feel the need to get into a deep discussion. You know, so it was a decent discussion. Okay, so I talked about relationships or relationship. I gotta talk about relationships. I'm in a relationship, and I have my own set of decisions that I make daily. And whenever I make decisions, I want my decisions to be wholesome and biblical. And that's why I think I had such a hard time with the other guy, is that, when you make a wholesome decision, you want it to be right in the eyes of God. And the reason I broke up my marriage is that our marriage was wholesome and charismatic and clean and all those things, but the thing is that he physically hurt me, and the marriage was over. As soon as he started hurting me physically, I had to leave. I didn't even wait for the next time for it to happen. So I share that because of the experiences I had in previous relationships that happened after my marriage, but all the same. Sometimes, and maybe all the time, I think, is that some people need to be out of relationships long enough to appreciate why God has you out of a relationship, because I was out of a relationship for at least 7 years after my marriage. And I didn't date, I didn't do anything. I just stayed out of a relationship. And I am at that point right now where I feel the same way. It's like I want to be in a relationship, but I don't want to violate that trust I have with God. And there are certain things that are only right with God when you're single. And that's how I feel. Thank you for listening, and God bless.